coaching call now. Cool. So let me open up a Google document. Whoa, too many tabs. Oh, Nicole right now sounds like you do about 4K per month. Per month is on recurring.
Mhm.
You said about 7K is kind of based on this deal with the CPA.
Yeah, and I actually met with another CPA this morning, and he has 4 clients that he's willing to flip over to me. But we do have to go through some nitty-gritty because he said, so what do you charge? Like 30 an hour? And I was like, no. And he was like, well, how much do you charge an hour? And I said, well, I need to really look at the scope. I said, but I'm in the $100 to $150 an hour range, depending on what the scope is. And he said, well, I need to be making some money off of this. And I'm like, well, then you have to do the work yourself. Like, I don't know what to tell you. And he said, well, how do I justify that to my customer? That, if they only need 6 hours of bookkeeping per month, how would I justify that to them? And I said, well, if they only need 6 hours and they're trying to outsource it, then they could probably just do it themselves. Because I'm not going to do it for $30 a month or $30 an hour.
Yeah. That's powerful. Yeah. So depending on that, kind of moving forward, I would be looking for for about 75 is where you kind of start, at least 50, because then when we outsource a subcontract to somebody else, generally they're going to be the subcontractors will be around like 22 per hour on average.
Okay.
Right. So anything really above that, if you can get, 75 an hour, you're pocketing what about 75 an hour, you're pocketing about $53 per hour.
Okay.
Right. And that's kind of passive, more of the passive income side.
Okay.
Right. So that's kind of where I'd be thinking about that. I like that you like say, hey, $125 an hour. That actually gives you a lot of room to negotiate down. So that's really cool too. Because you got to keep in mind, there are some CPAs that charge $5 an hour for this stuff. There's some that charge $250 an hour for this stuff. So yeah.
And I think it depends really on what their bread and butter is, right? Like the CPA that I've already signed on, they are standard CPA firm. Most of their customers are some sort of retailer, right? Easy books. I don't want to say easy. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, but simplistic. There's not a whole lot of, they don't have a ton of lines of credit. They don't have, all of these things happening. But this particular gentleman that I met with this morning, he specializes in cleanups because people are in trouble. And so when I'm looking at something like that, number one, they're going to pay a higher price. But number two, I feel compelled to charge a higher price because that is something that is a very serious, potentially egregious offense, right? You don't want to get yourself in trouble with the IRS. I've seen what happens with that. I don't want to be any parts of that. So if it's something that I have to pay super attention to, fact finding, reporting, possibly be present for an audit, I need to make sure that I'm charging the appropriate amount because at the end of the day, a serious customer like that, I feel is going to take time away from me working with my customers and building my business.
Yeah. That's it. Basically. So yeah, you have a lot of room there. It's gonna grow. So then currently, how many hours do you spend per week? Either doing work and just doing the work.
Doing the actual work, I probably work 4, 8, maybe 16 hours a week.
Oh, cool. Cool. And that's at, at the four, and that's not counting the $7,000 CPA deal. That's 16 before this deal.
No, I'm lumping that CPA deal in there.
Oh, cool. 16 hours per week to get 11,000 a month. Wow.
Yes. Well, I mean,
That-
to work on the work that I've won worth $11,000 a month. Obviously, I'm out meeting people and, all of those other extraneous things that I need to do to keep my pipeline full.
Yep. That's why I specifically asked that question, right? Because there's gonna be a couple of things, right? Think about it. What we could probably do is if you did the mastermind in the future, then we would have either someone do the work for you, right? So all you'd be spending your time on would be just sales and marketing.
Okay.
But then even then we could then go and decrease the amount of time you're spending on marketing as well. So for
Okay.
example, let's say for marketing for sales, how many hours are spent, would you say, on the phone, either with referral partners or new potential clients?
Only on the phone or like in-person meetings.
Yeah, we'll just do sales first and we'll split into
Okay.
marketing too.
So sales, I would probably say this week I've spent at a minimum 3 hours a day. Monday, I think I spent the entire day on sales. I didn't do any work other than promoting my business, talking to customers, phone calls, follow-ups, meetings, stop-ins.
Cool. And let's say for marketing, because it's slightly different. I know that you probably don't spend as much time on marketing since you're so heavy on sales, right?
So I do the feel of my marketing is like, hi, I'm here, I'm legit. Not so much. I'm not pushing a whole lot out on the internet. I try to do 1 to 2 Facebook posts a day. I try to update my website in ways that it doesn't become stale. I'll send out emails and things like that. I'm working on doing a bi-monthly newsletter, just little snippets, little facts of all of these people that I've collected, sort of like a drip marketing situation. But I feel like all of that stuff is lovely and all of that stuff is backup. But I feel my strong suit is whenever I can get a hold of the decision maker, talk to them on the phone, stop in, shoot the breeze, because I have a lot of business experience and I have a lot of life experience. And I feel like when I meet somebody new, I'm pretty relatable. So getting in front of them and having 5 minutes to build that core relationship really, really works well for me.
Mm. So for marketing, it would be, so when you're sending out emails, you're sending out more like prospecting emails with like, hey, I saw you on Facebook, say you're looking for this help. Do you want to hop on a call? Or are you just doing cold emails too?
Both. Yeah, both.
Okay. How many cold emails are you sending out per week?
I try to send out 15 every morning.
Okay. Are they personalized?
Yes. So what my system is, I was taking my kids to the dentist the other day, driving, phone in hand. So I'm like, okay, I'm driving past this business, snap, 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 snap. So now I have all of these people like en route to the dentist. So they're all kind of like in a path. I send them all an email like, hey, Mr. Florist, here's who I am, here's what I do, here's how I can help you. And then I'll go back like a week later and retrace my steps and just pop in and be like, hey, is Mr. Florist here? Like, I sent you an email. Here's my card. Remember, my logo was on the email. Remember, we talked. I know call reluctance is like a really big thing for a lot of people. And I find that if you reach out to them in advance, it's not a cold call anymore. It's like a warmish call. But even if they tell me like, I'm good, my wife does it, I'm good, they still take my card. And if I do that 100 times and 3 of them pass my card on to somebody that turns into a customer and 2 of them end up calling me, I don't think my time was wasted.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So then, okay. Yeah, we could definitely speed that up then. So I would foresee for at least the marketing side.
Mhm.
So you can do exactly what you're doing now. We would get about 2 to 5 more referral partnerships, each one on average trying to sell at about say about $2,000 per month. So say if it's about 5, say 5 at 2,000 a month puts you at about $21,000. I think that'll be my goal over the next 60 days.
Okay.
Next 60 days. We'll probably use like a couple different approaches. We could probably use 3 approaches if we really needed to. 3 approaches. Number 1, LinkedIn. We would do it automated fully.
What's that?
Huh? We would automate it completely.
Oh, okay.
Uh, yeah. Okay. On average, we want to have about 10. So let's set to like the next 90 days. We want at least 10 for that. That way, if you keep everything exactly the same as what you have, but you only have a couple of more partnerships, you're going to be at that 30, probably about $31,000 per month kind of mark.
Okay.